This is the Every FNFF podcast. Curtis is making me do the intro today, so this is what he gets. I'm Carl Germ.
I'm Alex.
And I'm back.
He's back.
Oh.
Who's he? It's me. I'm Remy. Hello. Hi.
Remy is back.
Remy is back. Who else do we got with us today? In pog form. In pod form.
And I'm P-Beard the Pirate. Wash my beard with pee. We haven't mastered desalinization yet. Mateys. You fucking mateys. I thought I was going to be able to carry that joke a lot longer. I really rehearsed in the shower today. But
man, well, take it again.
It just completely fell out. No, it's done now. P-Beard's gone.
I mean, I'm so upset right now because you took Grimpin' Ain't Easy from me.
No, that was Alex. Alex said Grimpin' Ain't Easy.
You already said Grimpin' Ain't Easy? I'm so grimped off.
No, wait. Corrections portion of the podcast this early.
Sure.
It stands for Great Imp.
Oh,
No.
not Green Imp?
Not a green imp. It's
right, because it's purple.
Right. Well, I was like, what the hell would GR be then?
It's a grape imp.
It's a grape
imp. You're right.
Well, the reason I say so is because today we're going to run into other great monsters as well.
There are a lot of good ones.
A lot of great monsters.
A lot of good ones, a lot of great ones.
We really should just make a whole monster segment of this show by now.
Yeah, I know. The monster mash.
I guess this might actually be a good time to bring up. I know I talked about it before, but I actually found out how to find the bestiary in.
It's one of the games you select in the beginning, right?
No, it's actually just in the menu under like configuration. I think like you go into the config and right at the bottom it just says collections, and I found that there's a lot more of them as well, and it shows your like percentage of what you found. So there's
Your
the bestiary, and I have 11% after the so far on this playthrough
Already.
Yeah. Item collection, which I have 1%, and then art gallery, which has all those cool like concept art things. But the even better thing about the bestiary in my version is it tells you how many of them you have defeated.
Oh, wow.
So I have killed 91 goblins.
And they all deserved it.
And they all have what's coming to them.
Thanks for coming back, Remy.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
I know you specifically requested to be back on FF1.
I did, actually, yeah.
You would not shut up about it.
Well,
just always talking about how it's just the perfect game and it's just held together so solidly.
I really do. It's not held together by pins and duct tape and all that other stuff at all.
It wishes.
Yeah, I'd like to actually issue an addendum to the last episode. The stage in Smash Brothers 64 is Sector Z, not Corneria.
Oh, shit.
You
really?
Fool. You fool.
I might be thinking of, what's it called? The second one, Melee.
Yeah, it is that in Melee.
Yeah. Well, here we are. More corrections.
You heard it here first.
We were pretty well prepared for the first 2 episodes with all of our facts. Me especially.
I just want y'all to know that before I came over here to record this podcast, I did spend about 15 minutes trying to make an eye patch for this episode so that I could be even more pirate-like.
Now that's good radio.
Yeah. Well, I figured we would just like announce it once, but then I would wear it the entire time to get into the mood. But
they can hear the pus leaking out of your eye patch.
That's great.
All right, y'all. So we crossed that bridge.
Yeah.
I was going to say that big bridge, but that's a very specific thing to say in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Can I go back to before the bridge for a second?
Sure.
God damn it.
No, this is already a great moment for me. I mean, who was the dancer in Corneria or Cornelia or whatever
Arelon.
it is? Arelon. Arelon is the dancer. There is another arguably more important person, and she lives in the castle, and she is the Invisible Woman.
Oh, shit. What?
What?
There is an invisible woman in the Nintendo version of the castle, and so this is actually really funny. She's so invisible that in the later revisions to the game, on different systems, they just outright removed her and just gave her lines to somebody else. But it's a scripting error essentially, which you've maybe noticed this as you're playing the game, but when you're like outside of a room before you walk into it, the people inside are invisible.
Yeah.
And then you go through the door and they appear. Well, this NPC is there in the room, but they forgot to give the room a door, so she never appears.
Whoa.
She's just there. And I feel like this is this is relevant with yesterday, Sunday, was International Women's Day, and people used to, assume until they'd kind of found a way to enable the sprite that the Invisible Woman was actually an Invisible Man.
Oh, geez.
So there's a little unconscious bias for you there.
Hell yeah. That's fucked up.
So this is it's a shout out to the Invisible Woman of Corneria.
Hell yeah. She will not be erased.
She's with
Unless it's in ports of the game, apparently.
yeah.
You just give her lines to other people.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. Holy shit.
So that's all I got.
It's fucked.
Just
It's
a little
fucked.
aside
It's so
there.
fucking typical to attribute other
Yeah.
women's accomplishments to
Yeah.
other.
Right, to very visible people.
I'm looking this up now, and I'm on the fandom, and it has like a screenshot, and it has her dialogue, and it just says the princess was looking for you, but like just the way it is, like with my resolution, and like the P looks like a D, and I thought it just said the darkness was looking for you. I'm like, that is so fucking scary.
That would be horrifying.
Yeah.
You just walk into that room and because you can talk to her.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to go up to whatever tile she would be on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
the button.
unless she's talking about the band The Darkness, and then it's a little more.
Believe in a thing called love.
That band
listen
fucking
to-
slaps. They put on a good live show too.
I believe it.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Thank you for.
Yeah, that was
That,
great.
yeah, that's
Remy.
awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, no, that's all I got for now.
Is
Sorry.
that, is that all the pre-bridge?
This is well, we can fit some of the other stuff in after the bridge.
Okay, sounds good.
Stick it to the bridge.
Take it to the court bridge. Yeah. Did y'all go visit the witch?
Yes.
No.
What?
Fuck.
You fool.
I am a fool.
Unbelievable.
Matoya.
Matoya the witch.
Toya.
So,
Matoya, my Toya.
Matoya. If you go,
You killed her father. Prepare to die.
Yeah, yeah.
I did. I think I did have a screenshot somewhere. I'll let you talk about Matoya, but I
Alright.
think there was a dialogue thing in one of the towns about Matoya.
There is. Yep.
Yes.
Somebody
it
does
sounds
mention her.
familiar.
Yep.
Yeah, when you cross the bridge and you head up to the northwest end of the continent, which is where I naturally headed first.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I thought the map went counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we find a cute little cave.
It's very cute. I like it.
Is it purple in yours too?
It's very purple. It's like neon purple in mine.
There's some cute music that plays, and then you immediately see some Fantasia-ass.
Oh my
looking
gosh,
brooms.
there's a bunch of brooms walking around, and in mine they all say exactly the same thing.
What do they say?
They say, so they say, Tekelas B Hasup, which I guess is push B select backwards,
Oh.
and then a magic spell ? Which is I assume what you're thinking or saying, but it doesn't separate it on the NES one.
Mine's a little different. Mine, until the second screen, but for the first screen is frontwards, backwards, any way you see, such a strange spell to swish, swishery. And then it says, ticklies not to be, swish, swish, aroo.
Ticklies.
Love those ticklies.
I love those ticklies. But yeah, so in mine they all say that. That's just the same thing.
Not that they don't sing, though.
No, they don't. They don't do
Any chimney sweeping?
no chimney sweeping, no Mickey Mouse, and a fucking wizard cap comes out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, I think it's back in Cornelia or Corneria. There is an NPC that you can talk to who says, Matoya cannot tell a broom from her rake without her crystal eye.
Yes.
And I saw that, I'm like, ooh, that's something that we'll have to look out for. I didn't realize that I could have just done that right away.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well,
It's
you
all-
can't really do anything with it right away, but you
Yeah.
can go visit her.
Okay.
It's also
So-
highly unusual because this is really revealing about Matoya is if you just tried to sweep the floor with a rake and you couldn't tell what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
We get it. You have some sort of magic crystal ball or something, but you can't rely on everything.
So,
These millennials can't do anything with that dang phone.
Well, healthcare is not very good out here.
Wonder what that
Can't
would be
get
like.
a prescription ball.
so, so we talked about last time how in my version of the game, instead of saying the crystals, they call them the orbs.
Yeah.
But if you were a witch and you were looking into a crystal ball, you might call that an orb. So instead, they call it a crystal.
So they don't even call it an orb ball.
But yeah, so If you talk to her, she says, "Where is my crystal? I can't see anything without it. Who stole my crystal?" It was kind of like Velma without her glasses.
Yeah.
I can't see anything without my
Or
glasses.
what was that Macaulay Culkin movie? He can't see anything without his glasses. My Girl?
Maybe.
Home Alone.
My Girl.
I thought it was going to be Page Master.
Holy shit! Was he was the kid in Page Master, wasn't he?
Yeah, there was like only one kid during those few
Yeah.
years.
So spoiler alert for the movie My Girl. Macaulay Culkin dies because he gets stung by bees and he's allergic to bees. And then when the titular My Girl is at his funeral at his casket, she's saying, "Oh no, he can't see without his glasses," and she puts his glasses on him. And I just made a joke about it.
That's some very like River of Styx shit.
Yeah, the Riverman. You got to put his glasses on.
The glasses on so he can see the ferryman.
Get these coins out of here.
I can't see without his glasses. Yeah.
Can't see past all of my wealth.
I got on the boat and the ferryman took my Ray-Bans.
Yeah, I think I was making my way over to that section of the continent, but like I just kept getting destroyed by like
Ogres.
Yeah, just like the various like enemies that we run into here. So I kind of was just like, all right, I'm just gonna find where I need to go because I need to like revive a character and also rest.
Yeah.
And then I like didn't go and explore anymore.
So I will say this is going to be a thing that's I would say recurring, but it's more of just like a good strategy for playing FF1. I think over top of other Final Fantasies is that in other Final Fantasies I feel like you have a little bit more leeway with your HP and your items.
Yeah.
And in this one, like you gotta stay topped off. Like if you aren't positive like 100% that like, okay, if my white mage gets targeted every turn, like they'll live, you should go ahead and just use the items. Like just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's okay in other games. Like, it's not a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
okay, Phoenix Downs are
A Phoenix
cheap,
Down, yeah.
whatever. Like, I don't think there are Phoenix Downs in this
No, that's
game.
what I mean. Like in other games, yeah, it's no problem. But in this one, you're just like, well, I need to go find my
Yeah.
way back to a town. I'm down
Right.
one person, which makes me significantly like weaker
Yeah,
to
and-
get there, and then I have to revive them, and then I have to.
Yeah, and there's a significantly non-zero chance that like an ogre is going to target your white mage and do a critical and just kill them one hit KO or something
Yeah.
like that if they're not completely topped off.
I mean, they might not even need a critical to one hit him.
They may not. They
Because,
may
like,
not. Especially at this point in the game. Like they do have like a big HP surge when they finally get their job change. But right now, yeah, you're rolling the dice every time you go out there. So it's always best to just heal all the way up if you can.
Yeah, it might even be a good idea to put my my white mage all the way at the bottom of the party.
Have you not?
No, it's not. It's not still at the top, but it's just in the normal thing. The black mage is all the way at the bottom, though.
Well, I think both of them share 12.5% chance.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, as long as they're one of the bottom two, I believe it's fine.
So have you had to like run away yet, Curtis?
I haven't.
Okay, you don't have to be proud. It's all right.
No, I was gonna say I haven't yet, but only because I know that running away is a big dice roll, and I'm always like, I'm not confident I'm going to make it. I probably
So-
have a better chance sticking around.
It's an unbelievably large dice roll in the NES one.
Yeah, what is the deal in the NES one?
Okay, I actually have to go over this because it's really hard to remember, but running is bugged.
Of course.
So it's supposed to be based on your luck and your level, which in other Final Fantasy games, I'm pretty sure it is. But what you get in this version is you have characters in the top two positions, that should be able to run like with 15 luck and a healthy party member 2 positions down.
Okay.
For some reason. So when you try to run from a battle, it loads something else instead of the runner's level, which is the first slot loads slot 3's status. The second slot loads slot 4's status. The third party member slot loads an identifier for an entity that attacks third, which is either 0 through 8 or 128 through 131. And then slot 4 is dependent on the one's digit of slot 4's hit points from 128 to 137. So I don't know if it's an overflow or if somebody just had like redirected to the wrong byte. I mean, I've looked into like why.
So there's gonna be some HPs for character 4 that are gonna be like good runaway HP
Yeah.
values, and there's gonna be bad runaway HP values.
There are definitely people that can exploit this.
It sounds to me like it's like when you're about to fight Ruby Weapon and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get like my character directly into like 777
778 HP and
just like
yeah.
get it at the exact right amount so I can just go in But
Yeah,
instead of
right.
it being to like fight the hardest boss in the game, it's just if you can run away
You
from a
can run
battle.
away.
Holy shit.
God, that's so. And like the thing is, as I understand it, is that the thief, the intention is that that character would be able to run away. And
Oh, yeah.
would have, like that would be their thing that they're good at. Which is why I very intentionally did not pick a thief for the NES playthrough, because I was like, well, what fucking good are they if like the thing that they're good at it does not work?
They got a
Absolutely
great
none.
personality.
That's fair.
Being a little too harsh on them.
That's true. They also
They're
have
trying
They
their
have
best.
they have a sense of fashion too. It's
It's true.
really good.
It's true.
I like
This is
them.
in short supply in this world.
Yeah. Yeah. This game sucks ass.
Leaving Matoya.
Yeah, leaving Matoya. We're on our way to Pravoka, which is the next area of the game. The only thing we know about it is that it's a port town. Somebody in Cornelia says so. And we get into some fights along the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. So
I found Lizard.
I am
Fuck those lizards.
I am 100% still standing behind the NES names for the enemies are the best. So I'm going to let you all tell us who we fought. And then I'm just going to say the name of the NES character when we're done. And we're all going to agree with me because they're great.
I fought a warg wolf.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah, it's just
That's
wolf.
the same in mine.
It's just wolf.
Well, we have wolf too, but warg wolf is different.
Oh, that's great wolf. Or green wolf.
Green
It's
wolf.
also grape colored.
We also, the goblin and goblin guards,
Yeah.
which are the purple goblins. Not the goblins that are just like Link from Link to the Past. I also fought a Gigas worm,
The creep.
the creep, a lizard, and an ogre. Not together.
Yeah, I kind of had a lot of trouble with the lizard. I think he actually killed one of my I think he killed my black mage.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this one's fine. It's rolling in like only one of them. We got 4, and then
Yeah,
like,
right.
my black mage went down, and I was like, fuck. I was like, I hope I find this other town soon, and I hope that I can revive my character here.
And mine is called Iguana.
That's so much better.
So I realized after last episode that I was grinding because I thought I just had to get strong because I didn't realize you could buy and equip things. So I was like, the lizards were no
Smashing
problem to
through
me.
this part, no problem.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I have stuff now. Like I have magic. I have equipment. I actually bought like swords and sabers and
Hell yeah.
So
a
strong.
helmet, gloves, the good stuff. Now that I've grinded so much hell's money to spend.
Alex walking down the street looking like Havel.
Hell yeah.
It's a good Dark Souls
It is.
thing. If you don't know Dark Souls,
You're listening to the wrong
fuck
podcast.
it.
Wait.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I ran into a favorite enemy from last time, the crazy horse.
Yeah.
I ran into 4 of them.
Yeah.
And I like was determined to beat them, and
Yeah.
I did, and it gave me like a shit ton of like experience points and everything, but like it was definitely not worth it.
Yeah.
I would like to let her know that Carl's looking through his screenshots in air
Yes.
quotes.
I have a new method for taking notes this season.
You want to
because
tell us about that?
the Vita does not have any screenshot function that I'm aware of. I did very little research on it, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. So I just hold my phone as I'm playing the game and then take a picture. But I use an iPhone, so my favorite part is since an update, like a couple updates ago, every now and then you'll take a picture and it'll show on your camera the way it usually does that it took a picture, and then you'll like move your phone away and then you'll look at the picture and it's just like a blur because after the shutter went, like it still didn't take the picture for some fucking reason. So some of my screenshots are just like, oh, here was a text box that I wanted to talk about, but I don't know if we can now.
It's just a big fucking blur.
Yeah,
Great.
I think you gotta play it in a higher light, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
He's showing me a picture of it.
Oh my god.
It says it says welcome, so I think it was just shopkeeper's dialect, so it's not important.
So,
Sir, you can't take pictures in here.
did y'all fight
Security was tackling me.
Did y'all fight some ogres?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
They're called Shrek in my game, weirdly.
donkey.
Crazy donkey.
Crazy
donkey.
Crazy donkey.
Yeah, these things are fucking tough.
They are very tough, especially if you encounter them before you get to Pravoka and get a couple more
I think
pieces of equipment.
Yeah, I think I did
Yeah.
do that actually. That might be why they were so tough for me.
Yeah, I ran into 2 on the way, but luckily I hadn't used any of my red mage's spells yet, so I was able to like throw those out real quick and concentrate fire on one of them, get him down, and then the other one wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
But I used
Oh
all
wait,
of
you
them.
had 2?
2 at once, yeah.
Oh, I only
Yeah.
had 1.
I hit 2 at once.
Yeah, I had to. So but after that, though, I was completely out of magic for Red Mage. So, like, if I had encountered another one, who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah.
But, like, luckily, that was the only one I encountered.
Is he hot in the NES version too?
He is himbo as fuck.
Yeah.
He's pretty himbo in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's got like George of the Jungle vibes.
Real, very
Brendan
much,
Fraser, George of the Jungle,
yes.
no less.
very much the Zach Fair of this game.
But purple.
Yeah, purple's the grape ogre.
The Grape Ogre.
Ogre is just grape Zach. But yeah, so this is an enemy that just does a ton of damage. Can one-hit KO party members, but gives a lot of gold and a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So great to find after you get to Pravoka and get some better equipment, which I did try to go level up at the end of today's show. I was like, all right, time to go get a bunch of levels. Couldn't find any of them. I mean,
course.
wandered around for 30 minutes, didn't find one. And I was
They
just
knew.
like, this sucks ass.
They knew. They were like, that MF is strapped right now. I can't.
But yeah, very dangerous battle to get into, though, while you're on your way. Especially because, like, the second town isn't too far away from Cornelia. But, especially if you're playing on the NES, but I imagine in the other games as well, you don't get a giant view of the world as you're walking. You only get so many tiles.
very limited.
Yeah.
So you can walk right north of it and not even see that it's there. You know what I mean? So it feels like a long journey getting there because you know that every fight could be your last one. If you do run into trouble and you have to run back to Cornelia, you have all that space you've already traversed to get back to Cornelia. So you're hoping that you can even get back and revive one of the characters before you can try again.
Yeah.
So you are you're rolling the dice on getting out there, but you have to. That's just the way these old RPGs are.
Yeah.
You don't make a lot of money in like the NES or PS1 versions either.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
Well, I think a PS1 version, money problems will be over at the end of this episode, but for me, no.
I almost want to feel like the ports are more for like the U.S. audience than they were for the Japan audience because there was like no authentic way to play it until.
Oh, you play NES?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of
FS1.
more of the sequels, I guess.
yeah.
That
Okay,
applies
yeah.
too. So if they were like porting 2, like, well, we might as well port 1 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, yeah, you're right about the especially the Game Boy Advance one. Like it's kind of designed to be an easy type.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And speaking of easy,
Call
like,
it like
I didn't have
a reasonable type.
Yeah,
Game Boy Advance didn't have difficulty mode for me, but I think yours did. Origins, I think, did have a difficulty
I think
selection.
I think it may have. I can't remember. There is the option to have it like the default, which is just play it as the NES works, or you can do the custom one where they allow you to use like different life spells as well as another spell.
Okay.
Okay.
But,
And the targeting is updated.
targeting is updated. You can dash. But the nice thing about that I found out this week is you can actually just go into those settings and enable like whichever ones you want. So
okay, that's
I
cool.
only turned on the dash because
That's
like,
great. That's
yeah.
the one that's necessary.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really want to do the targeting thing because like here I ran into like 5 goblins and then I was like, oh, this is actually much harder when you actually have to like try and think of, okay, how much HP does it have? How
Right.
much are my guys doing? You know, it makes it more fun.
Also, accuracy in the first one, atrocious.
Oh, that- yeah,
atrocious.
you miss a lot.
You miss every other attack is a
Ugh.
miss. It's constant. Like when I get like 2 solid hits per turn, I'm like, that was a decent turn. We got 2 solid hits. It wasn't 3 or more misses. Like
So I mean, I don't know what your
the rough.
parties are looking like either, but you're gonna have a really bad time with magic.
oh yeah. This game's a thing.
So yeah, this is another one. Is
I'll tell you what. Let's talk about the magic. Let's talk about the items and stuff we can buy in the next town because there are some real good jump off points to talk about the magic system.
Oh, yeah.
How's that?
all about it.
Okay, cool.
Before we get there, though, I do want to talk about another quality of life thing that I don't think I've mentioned yet, where there's an option in the main menu on the PlayStation version called Memo. And
Oh,
what
yeah,
it does,
yeah, yeah.
it's just basically like
like a
you
quick
can
save,
a
yeah.
quick save, and I think the reason for that is probably because it's a handheld, and it's like, oh, okay, well, you know might be in a situation where you can't
Mom's
just
coming down the stairs.
Yeah, you gotta hide it under your pillow or whatever. But you can save it like between places. But if you power your console off, I think it like when you turn it back
Yeah.
on, that memo file's gone. So it doesn't do like a hard save like it does in the menu, but
It's like
it
a
makes it a
sleep
little
mode.
easier. Like I
I think it does. I think it works for that on the original PlayStation, but for the Vita port, I'm not sure.
okay.
Well, you're playing basically a direct just because the Vita basically has a PS1 engine in it, right?
Yeah, it's like the.
Yeah.
It's not even a port. It's just
A lot of
playing a
the-
PS1 game on your Vita.
Yeah, because a lot of the PlayStation Final Fantasies did have that. Like the PlayStation version of Final Fantasy V has the memo function.
Okay, yeah.
And I believe that's the way that works.
Yeah.
But I can confirm that next episode.
Sure, yeah,
Because I have some of them. I could actually like get them down and like.
So if you beef it or die, do you just end up right back where the memo is?
I don't think.
No.
I think you have to load the file.
Once you load the memo,
it's gone.
it erases it immediately. It is
Interesting.
just a one-time quick save.
Yeah, it's like the owl statue in the U.S. version of Majora's Mask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pravoka.
Pravoka.
So when we walk in, or at least when I walked in, there's like one NPC in town. Or I guess there's two. There's two
There's
NPCs.
I think 2.
There's one that just says help. That's cool.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. And the other one says that pirates have taken over the town. Pissbeard.
Oh,
Peabird.
wait, is his name P-Beard in yours?
Headcanon, it is Peabeard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Pravoka, not really that interesting of a fact, but in mine it's spelled with a C instead of a K.
Okay.
I think the real one is K. Like Cornelia, that sort of thing. Weird translation thing.
When you were like, oh, it's not a very, very interesting fact, I thought you were going to be like, Pravoka, not very interesting. I was going to be like, fuck you.
No, this place
town
is
slaps.
real cool. Yeah.
It's like a city.
It is.
It's like King's Landing.
Yeah, it's got nice little waterways.
I mean, especially like for the time period that it was released, like off the bat, it's really nice how different this looks from the first time.
Yeah, very much. Okay, there is a thing I want to talk about. It is very specific to the NES. It is the second NPC who's standing in the middle of town.
Okay.
So,
Towards like the fountain.
towards the fountain. So the original NES was limited in sprite size. You could only have sprites of certain sizes. So I'm going to show you all a picture of it, but I want to describe it first because it's fantastic. So what you got to imagine is like you have like 8 pixels, right, to like build what looks like a character. And they do. It looks as an NPC, right? But this NPC has a mohawk, and mohawks typically stand up taller than your head. But because you only have so many pixels, the character already takes up all 8 pixels top to bottom. So instead, the mohawk has to just protrude forward and backward in a perfect square shape.
Holy shit.
And it's fucking incredible. So you gotta imagine somebody who has a mohawk, and then on the top, they shave it completely flat. And even with the top of their bald head, so actually just the top of their head is actually bald. And then it just sticks out the front and the back. And because they only had 8 pixels left and right as well, the front and the back is also perfectly squared
Oh
off.
my god.
And it's the most fucking like skate or die badass fucking looking NPC. And I was like, who is this motherfucker? I want him to be in my party.
Yeah, he's got to join.
This is great. Anyway, I'm gonna show you all a picture of him.
Let me zoom in on this. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god!
He looks like an
Oh,
anvil.
holy shit.
He's like an anvil.
He's like Flathead the Cat on Instagram.
Oh, I love Flathead.
Flathead the Cat is very good. Yeah, no, I didn't even notice that NPC has a mohawk, but he also has a mohawk, like an actual recognizable mohawk.
I found him.
I
I know who this is.
Remy is showing everyone a picture.
Is that Jerry only?
It's Jerry only.
Jerry only canonically in Final Fantasy 1.
I saw the Misfits play like a show in New York like the night before Halloween a few years ago with some friends.
Yeah.
The thing was, it wasn't like the original lineup because Danzig and Jerry only were still like at odds and shit. So it was Jerry like fronting the band.
Jerry!
And everything. So when I would tell people, I would say,
He would say, Jerry!
Jerry! But when I would tell people
Something to say, Jerry.
when I would tell people that I was seeing the Misfits, I was like, yeah, I'm seeing the Misfits. Actually, no. It's only Jerry.
That's a nice little reversal there.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you did.
That's how he looks in the phone book. Is this thing on? Yeah, here's that Mohawk guy in my version. You can actually tell it's a Mohawk, which I
Okay,
didn't
yeah.
because I didn't look at the sprites close enough. Because it is a
Let
tiny
me look
screen.
at your bootleg. Oh, it is a mohawk. It's got a little more of a curve to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's very true to the original, though.
Looking good.
Looks good. I love this guy.
Hell
I
yeah.
love this guy.
This guy's
Jerry.
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 I
That's
let him
Jerry.
watch my kids. He does look like kind of a Bebop and Rocksteady kind of
Yeah,
vibe to it.
Yeah,
he does.
absolutely. What does that NPC say? He just says, does he just say help as well?
No, he says pirates have taken over the town.
Yeah, because he says the pirates came and sacked Pravoka. Wish they'd go back out to the Aldean Sea.
Oh, yeah, he didn't say that on mine.
Yeah, and then the first NPC that you walk in says a little more than just help in this one. He doesn't say help at all. He
See, I'm
says,
just having to use my imagination here when I'm playing.
He says, "Arg, they're here again."
Yar, they're here again. That man also sounds suspiciously like a pirate.
yeah. Wait, I gotta ask that guy a follow-up question now.
So, in my game, the pirate is in the northwestern corner of the town. I was like, what's that one? What's that way? I don't know about your games. How is his name spelled? Because in mine it is Bikke.
Yeah,
And I am not worldly enough to pronounce that name.
BK.
BK.
Vicky.
Oh, I guess it could be. It could be like
BK.
if it's a Japanese name, it could have the little
It's got
two
the
before the K. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I
BK.
took it. Yeah. BK,
Okay, you're right.
BK.
Yeah.
BK.
Get it your way.
Bonky Kong.
Oh, Bonky Kong.
I think it might be pronounced bike. And
Yeah.
he had his the wrong calling in life.
But yeah, he's I'll say BK, but well,
Yeah.
whatever. But he says, I am BK the pirate. I want to say, let me try that again. I am BK the pirate. And surprised I am that you scurvy dogs have the nerve to face me. Mates, get these landlubbers.
Classic.
That's great.
Classic BK.
And mine, he says, "You lion dog-faced pony soldier," which I thought was kind of weird.
Mad
No.
pony soldier.
I didn't know they let ponies be soldiers.
Crazy pony. If you talk to the pirates next to him, because in my game it's like his sprite and then there's two like generic like pirate sprites next to him.
Yeah.
And you talk to them and they say, "What are you looking at?" And I just read that in Kent Brockman's voices. What are you looking at?
What are you looking at?
Oh, it's almost St. Paddy's Day too, so that's fitting.
Wait.
I'm the Prime Minister of Ireland. But yeah, when you talk to BK, he says, "Say, I don't think you know who you're talking to."
Do it again. Do it again.
"Say, I don't think you know who you're talking to. Fellers, teach these guys how to respect the great pirate BK." And they say, "Aye, aye, boss. We'll take care of them."
He's the first member of
just-
the BK crew.
I just like how he says, "Fellers, teach these guys how to..."
Fellers. The accent changes mid.
Fellers, is it lame
Fellers.
to teach these guys how to respect the great pirate BK?
But yeah, mine they respond, "Aye aye, Captain, we'll make their bones go crunch."
Yeah, that's so good.
Oh my god, it's a Captain Crunch joke.
They also cut the roof of your mouth. So we fight the pirates in this episode, and then we fight the Soggies in the next episode. It's a little Captain Crunch lore for everyone.
We're gonna talk about the flavors of Crunchberry we can buy in this town.
The orbs are just crunch berries.
Oh my god, it makes so much sense.
Oops, all berries.
They're all the same color.
The heroes of light have shown up. They come holding yellow clovers and blue moon. Hey,
So what happens?
is pirate voice just a grizzly Irish accent? Are those the same thing?
Maybe.
Because I go from talking like this to talking like this if I just put some gravel in it.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like it's the same.
Yeah, that
I feel
might.
like it's the same thing.
I'm actually looking it up right now. Robert Newton popularized the pirate voice.
Where is Glasgow?
It's in Scotland.
Scotland.
No, it's not Ireland. Okay.
Yeah, like Willie.
That's Shrek.
Groundskeeper Willie.
I was gonna
Shrek.
give a shout out to another podcast that follows us and communicates with us a lot of times, the Puro Puri podcast,
Hell yeah.
because they have some people in Glasgow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
They
shout
should
out.
So
Come
we've
on.
already just with
Ridicule.
our pirate voices, we've completely
Take that.
They're like
Take that,
they
mateys.
now hate our podcast. Mateys.
All right, let's go piss time.
To the Chaos Temple.
To the Chaos Temple.
To the piss room.
And we're back.
We're back in the high winds.
We're back on the ship.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
We're about to talk to BK. Bonky
Lucky
bong.
number.
What?
My lucky number's 9 this time, baby.
Lucky number 9. Yeah.
9 different fucking pirates, baby.
Is that scripted?
Yeah.
I assume that was
Yeah.
scripted, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I also fought 9.
Yeah, so we get into a fight with BK's pirates, and there's 9
Full
of them.
Full house.
A full house. I remember the first time I played this game when I was younger. This sounds so embarrassing. I could not beat this boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this time I was like, oh, they all have like 10 HP. What the fuck was I doing? When I guess I was a kid and I didn't understand that like you couldn't attack the same space every time or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, this is so easy. My white mage is killing these dudes like by itself. Their self? By their self.
By their self.
themselves.
By themselves.
But yeah. So really not too bad. If you're equipped, you're ready to go, fairly easy. Is that right?
Yeah, it's pretty like overwhelming to see because especially like if you didn't have a really bad roll and run into like a party of
Right.
9 up at this point, like
Yeah.
this is like the first time I'm seeing it. And I was like,
I
holy
haven't
shit.
seen 9, yeah.
I was like, that's a lot of fucking pirates, and this is gonna be difficult. And like, this was after like fighting 4 of the crazy horses and like having a real hard time with that. And then I was like, it was the same thing. I was kind of like making sure to target different ones, but for my 2 mages, I was like, okay, they need to like attack the same one because they'll.
Because they're weaker, right?
Yeah, and then I was just like, oh my god, they all went down in one hit.
Yeah, right. And
'Cause
I will say,
I think I saw that they might have like 6 HP or something.
really, they may. It's real low.
Yeah.
I will say in the NES version, at least, the turn order is not determined by speed or anything like that, or agility or anything. It is. So I watched a speed run that actually talked about how agility or turn order is done, and that every time you select all of your attacks, you're put into a queue with the enemies, and you're kind of just like randomly assigned spots in that queue, and so you can be way a higher level than the enemy, but it still is just going to assign you randomly into that attack queue.
That's great.
Yeah, right. So it's just going to happen eventually. So the first time, I think like all of my characters were like at the bottom of it, where like there was like 1 pirate that went after me, and I was like, really?
God.
Let me sit through 8 of these like before I can start attacking. This sucks.
Jesus.
But they weren't doing much damage. I think to the fighter, they did like 1 damage, and I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, these guys, they're going to get wrecked. But, I want to keep the rest of my party alive to give them experience so that they get tougher and everything. But not too big of a deal. Pretty easy battle.
Yeah, I think I took 2 hits with my warrior, and he had 110 HP, and at the end of the fight, he had 108 HP. I was like, oh, these guys are not hard.
Well, pirates, man. Just don't make them like
Pirates.
they used to.
I do think it's funny though. Like I was really confused. Like pirates have taken over the city, and they're like all just. It looks like there's just 2 of them hanging out in the corner.
Yeah. Just chilling.
Just like by the vacant like warehouse.
Yeah, just right.
Behind the Denny's.
They
It's
just
like, we run to town around here.
they're just eating hoagies by the Wawa dumpster.
Yeah, just on top of the trash can, using it like a table.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of pearl clutching suburbanites in this town.
Oh my god.
So they all go down.
Yeah.
So they all go down. Let their example be a lesson to us about taking over and terrorizing gated communities. We can do it if 9 of us get together and decide to jump those fences.
As
And
long
we
as-
should.
And we should.
As long as that prophecy is all a bunch of baloney.
Yeah.
We just need 5 more people. We're like almost halfway
We're almost there. We're almost ready to take over an entire community. We could do it.
We get,
It's a fucking praxis right there.
This is a call out to all our past guests.
Corey just walks in. He's like, "You guys need me."
Yeah.
It's about to go down.
But yeah, after you beat him, BK says, "Oh, I'm sorry, sirs. Won't do no bad from now on. I swear."
Sorry, sirs.
Is that all he says? I'll let you go through
Oh
this
yeah.
again.
Oh, and then my phone did the thing where
Okay.
he says like
when your cat attacked it?
yeah. I'll let yeah. I'll let you.
Once you defeat him in the NES version, he literally just says, "Okay, you got me. Take my ship." And I was like, "Whoa, dog! I wasn't even trying to rob you, but like,
Yeah.
I would like a ship though." So
Did
like,
you just mug a city?
yeah, I know. So I just took his ship. I guess the pirates live there now.
You wouldn't download a ship.
For me, it says, "I be most sorry, young masters. I'll be making no more fuss, I swear. I want you to take me ship for your troubles. Can you find your heart to forgive an old pirate? Aw.
And the answer is yes, we can.
Yo,
And we'll take that
BK's
ship.
part of the crew now.
Hell yeah.
That's all right. He's
He's the first
Yeah, I was
member.
gonna say he's the first member of the BK crew.
But I talked to him after.
Members 2 through 10 are just called pirates.
I talked to him again. He says, I've had myself a change of heart. I plan to buckle down and be the hardest worker in town.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna swashbuckle down.
Hell yeah.
There's just like a guy dressed as a captain. Just
Yeah,
retail. Working retail.
Welcome to Journeys. All right.
Yeah, so after you
Let's-
talk to him,
Sorry, go ahead.
in that he just says, "No bad deeds anymore. No, sir. Really, just look into my eyes,"
Oh,
which gave me
just-
vibes.
whoa.
Gave me vibes of Final Fantasy VIII. Look into my eyes. You're going to like me. You're going. to
Oh
like
yeah,
me.
BK's the cutest guy here.
The best looking guy here.
Yeah.
Yeah, BK in mine has an eye patch, so
Oh,
he,
hell
he
yeah.
wouldn't say that.
Oh yeah, no, he has one in mine
Look
too.
into my single eye.
Wow. Yeah, he has an eye patch in mine too. But he's
So we've met 2 characters this this episode who are missing an eye. Or an orb at least.
Orbs.
Okay, before we talk about the shops and the magic,
Yep.
so what happens after you beat BK is the townspeople come out of their homes.
Yeah.
And so there's several more people walking around town.
It's bumping.
One of them mentions that the Prince of Elfland, or Elfheim as it's called in some games, can only be awakened with Matoya's herb, and like herb is max like capitalized.
Yo.
And I was like, yeah, Matoya got that good.
I mean, he's not really sleeping. He just doesn't want to get out of bed.
Get Grubhub.
You must find.
My body wants Gwubby Hubby.
You need to find Matoya's vape. I almost said grape.
There's like a wizard man walking around in mine he says, I have escaped from Melmond in the west. My town is in trouble. Please help them. And I was just like, NES games, man. Like, I don't know where that is or what you're talking about, but now I'm just more worried. Thanks. Like,
Yeah, he says pretty much the same thing in mine. He says, "I fled here from Melmond, a town far to the west. What a horrible sight that was. The earth rotting and monsters attacking as soon as night fell. Please help!
This is George Costanza. The earth rots.
Please help us."
Somebody says that ships can only dock at ports.
Yep.
And that there are no ports in the north, which is handy. Like, I appreciate that they went ahead and said in the NES game, like, don't bother going north. Like, there's nothing up there. And I was like, that's more direction than most NES RPGs would have given.
Yeah, I just found the dialogue with the character talking about the herb. He doesn't talk about that in mine. He's a little more on the DL, but he says,
So we got the Elfland prince needs Matoya's sticky to get.
he's like, yeah, you need some loud. No, he says, "I hear there is a land of elves far across the sea where its prince has fallen under a curse." That's all you get. Also, the pirates in my game don't die after you kick their ass. They just, like, if you can still talk to them and they're just laying on the ground and they just say,
Really?
They just say, you win.
Oh,
They don't physically appear in the NES one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mine did physically disappear.
But again, you might be able to still talk to them because appearing isn't.
Yeah, visit the invisible pirates.
When's International Pirate Day?
Oh God.
I like that
Canceled.
the beginning of the last episode, Carl said we're cowboys this time, and now we're pirates. As long as we're ninjas the next time, we've completed the 2001 internet fucking cycle.
We also need to be dinosaurs at one point.
And robots.
To capitalize on the Hot Topic crowd from
That's right.
that era.
That's right. So, magic.
Magic.
Okay, so there are shops in town, weapons, armor, items, black, white magic, right?
Mhm.
Black magic. I want to go black magic because it is the most disappointing thing in the world.
Yeah.
In my version of the game. So Remy's nodding at me, just smiling and nodding. Ice magic, fine, whatever. It's ice magic. It works. It's more powerful than fire or thunder magic in this game, but no enemies are weak to ice till much later in the game, making it actually weaker than fire and lightning.
Yeah.
So there's that, I guess. Dark same as like blind
Yeah.
from other games. Causes the enemy to not hit you as much, and also increases your accuracy, oddly enough. So the enemy's accuracy is tied to their evasion. It's like one stat for them.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to skip the next one and go down to slow, which in this game, because it's not ATB like Final Fantasy VII was, where your bar fills up and then you get to move again. So haste and slow have to operate differently, right? So in this game, it operates in the number of hits that you do. Like we kind of talked about, you can do more than one hit.
Yeah.
It decreases the amounts of hits per attack that the enemy is doing on you. So actually could be pretty useful. A lot of bosses do a lot of hits. A lot of tough enemies do a lot of hits. You can cast slow.
Hits.
They do a lot of hits on that sticky.
On that loud.
I don't smoke weed. I don't know.
Neither do I. I just know cool weed terms.
I don't think any of us here.
Okay. Temper is the one I wanted to talk about because when I was reading, you all know I picked like a black belt, right? Because I was like, most damage possible. And I was reading about how to one-hit KO the final boss, right? Temper is essential for one-hit KOing the final boss because it can stack and it increases your attack power by 8 points.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fucking righteous, right? Which in this game, 8 points is a lot of points for attack increase. So I'm going to read the definition of it, or the page for it, from guides.gamecorner.net.
Hell yeah. I love that corner.
for temper. Okay. This is one of the best spells in later versions of the game. Temper and Saber are both bugged in the NES version and do not function at all. You can safely ignore this spell.
Oh, man.
So I don't know why the fuck I have a black belt in my party. It's useless.
Ruined.
Ruined.
Oh, man.
This game sucks.
The black belt doesn't even get any better, right? He just stays a black
No,
belt.
he doesn't even get any like class advantages
He
later.
doesn't start as a yellow belt? That would make more
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
This game sucks ass. I'm ready to move on.
So I mean, you'd mentioned something in that. There's another issue which I don't know if you're familiar with, and this applies to the NES and like PS1 versions of Final Fantasy, which is that the intelligence stat is also bugged,
I know.
which means that you do not get any gains on levels, and your spells never get any better.
I know.
So
Just is what it is.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And it sucks ass, but in some ways I'm just kind of like, well, I guess that means no party or no character's better than the other one because they're all fucked up.
Yeah.
except
So-
the fighter.
Except the fighter, who's a real motherfucker. But I mean, the game is entirely beatable still, even with all these problems.
Oh, yeah.
So like, it's almost wild to think what a fixed NES version would be like. And like, it might be ridiculously easy. Like,
Yeah.
just like rolling through the game because everything works. Because like, it's like the game is just offering you handicap on handicap over and over, just being like, fuck you. And then it's still beatable. Like, it's still doable. So, I also want to talk about this real quick about shops. So buying potions is going to become a huge thing coming up because of our limited ability to heal, right? We can only cast Cure as many times as a white mage has Cure spells for those levels. I don't know about the PlayStation version. No, I do, because I play the PlayStation version. I don't know about the Game Boy Advance version.
That uses MP.
But when you're buying items in the NES version, you have to buy one at a time.
Oh, my God.
And a good strategy for the dungeons in this game is to buy 99 potions once you have the money for it. And that is
boy.
not a fast thing to do.
You don't got a turbo button?
So I do, because I'm playing on emulator. I do have a turbo button. So I'm going to utilize that turbo button whenever I do it. But if you were playing the NES version on the NES,
God bless
you
you.
just have to sit there and like boop, 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 like, and just buy 99 of
What
them.
makes it worse is I don't think potion is always the first item on the shop menu.
It's not.
Does the cursor reset?
I'll get back to you next week.
Because
on
that
that
would
one.
suck.
I think it might.
I think it does reset, so you actually have to like go in and like go
Wait,
down
wait.
the item you want
I'm
every
gonna do
time.
live figuring this out.
Live vamping. Yeah, because I know that I've bought a couple items and I can actually select how many I want. In solidarity with Curtis, I'm only going to buy potions one at a time. Even though it's worse
Here
for
we
me
go.
because
Here
I
I'm in Corneria right now. Okay. Walking to the shop. Right, there it is. Oh my god, the cursor resets every time! So I will be looking forward to that.
In solidarity with Curtis, I'm going to also be doing that myself each time to make sure that he...
So I thought the Game Boy Advance makes you do it one at a time because you select it and it says 1, and then up and down it just selects a different item.
Yeah.
But to change the quantity, you actually have to select left or right to
Yeah.
increase it, which is not very obvious to do for
Yeah.
increasing a number by hitting
Left or right. Yeah.
Left or right.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. So I was very happy to find out I didn't have to do that.
God, no.
Even though I have like 6 times speed enabled on my emulator.
Hell yeah.
So Square will not sponsor us because we're all playing this game illegally, I think. It's worth
Oh my
noting.
god, yeah. I was going to say, go ahead.
No, yeah, so
I spent $7 on this game. So
Yeah,
they can sponsor us.
I'm using MGBA, which is an emulator. I know you're using your phone, maybe.
So by the time you hear this podcast, it will have been 12 days prior that Square Enix on their official Instagram account was like, join the Square Enix partner program. Like, send us a link to your Twitch or whatever. And I was like, yo, we could become a fucking pay pig for Big Daddy Square for Square Enix. We give away all of our integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We don't talk shit on corporations anymore.
No,
or
absolutely not.
companies.
Square sponsor our podcast. You fucking cowards. You absolute cretins. Give us money and free copies of the remake for $7.
Hell yeah.
You motherfuckers. Fix thieves in the NES. Release an
Patch
NES
the
patch.
NES, god damn it.
Patch the NES.
We don't have nearly enough downloads.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're not in the position to be making these demands.
And Remy, I noticed you have a 2DS.
Oh hell yeah.
Well, you know what? We could just take 9 people to the Square headquarters dressed as pirates.
Occupy Square Enix.
Yeah. Hashtag Occupy Square Enix.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. 2DS. Yes, right. Go.
Remy's like, don't talk about this. I'm afraid of Nintendo.
I'm sorry. I got that Matoya herb.
I am afraid of Nintendo.
Yeah, so he's playing on a legitimate version.
Yeah.
That Reggie Fils-Aimé Reggie Fils-Aimé gave to Remy
From
in person,
GameStop.
from GameStop. He was like,
You saw that, right? That he's now like one of
I
the
did.
board members.
I feel a lot of ways about
class
that.
trader.
Yeah. As
Maybe
someone,
he'll finally stop the games.
yeah, maybe he'll finally be the one to stop the games.
You're Reggie. You work for Nintendo. Not anymore.
White magic that you can buy in Pravoka.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the deal with white magic?
What's the deal? Okay. Invis. It's like a stronger ruse, and it'll stack with ruse actually, so you can do
Ooh.
real evasion-y, which strikes me as a little bit odd. I think that in the first town they give you the evasion spell, and then in the next town, a couple minutes later, they're like, I don't know, I guess a stronger evasion spell. Fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, more ideas.
Seems like a waste.
Yeah. I was like,
They give you
Odd
lock
that
in the
you-
first town, right?
yes, that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
focus. Yeah.
Yep, that spell does nothing. It actually doesn't work.
What the fuck does work in this game?
I know. There's gonna be like a shorter list of spells that work than don't.
Lock 2, by the way, increases the enemy's evasion instead of decreasing.
Does it really? Oh my god!
There's so much good stuff to dig
This
into.
game fucking rules.
Oh yeah.
I love it so much.
So lamp removes essentially lock from you or blind from you. But as I was reading, actually, let me read this one again. So, does work in the NES, but however, this is from the description. However, it may not be worth the level 2 spell slot, especially considering the other level 2 spells available, because you won't encounter darkness until Marsh Cave much later, and it wears off at the end of combat.
Yeah.
So like, it's useless. Like every good spell in this game.
Unless you can use it to like make yourself escape because of the status.
There's got to be some kind of like glitch speed strat
Hell yeah.
to do with it. A lit. I wonder if it's like a light, but like I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's like the opposite of lightning. Like there's like lightning and a lightning.
It's an electric lighter for your e-cig.
Yeah, right. Like in the way like asynchronous is the opposite of synchronous.
I'm
right?
hearing it,
Yeah.
and like it sounds like illiterate, and I'm guessing that like
True.
whoever wrote the spell couldn't read, which
Eh.
is like it has kind of a double meaning, really.
Well, what it does is it grants it grants lightning resistance to the entire party. And there are some monsters that are going to use lightning, but we don't see them till a lot later. So you could buy it, you could put it in the bag, and then use it later, kind of thing if you wanted. But for right now, though, it's fine.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself.
And then there's mute. So cast silence, and there's not very many monsters that do cast spells, but they're there. And
They're there. Here.
they're there. And there's no like complex AI on the monsters in this game, so if they are a monster that uses spells, it will continue to try to use spells even after muted, so you can get away some free attacks that way.
Nice.
So,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
different names in mind. It's Blinda, Silence, Null Shock, and Invis.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
but
Buy ice. Buy the ice spell
yeah.
Yep.
if you want. Actually, you don't have to because it's not even useful until
Buy
like ice
ice, but also abolish ice.
Yes.
Here, here.
There.
Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier about like the battle support feature that they have on the PlayStation version. While we're on the topic of white magic, the magic that it also lets
If
you
it fucks
use.
up, you call battle support.
yeah. So it if you have it off, which I do because I want to play it more like the NES version.
Solidarity.
Solidarity.
Thank
It disables the use of Life 1, Life 2, Stona, and Gold Needles in battle. So
Needles.
Gold noodles. Let's see here. What else? Okay, so items in this town. So there are some pretty good weapon and armor. The short sword, sick short sword. Actually, there's also the great axe, which the fighter can also equip, and does a little bit more damage. It just has less chance to do additional hits.
Yep.
So I haven't done it personally. I probably should, just for due diligence, but buy both of them and then see which one does more damage.
Yeah.
The short sword with the additional hits or the great axe with the additional damage with less hits.
Yeah.
But either way, though, they're pretty expensive. I think they're 550 gold.
Yep.
And this is the first town that we get into where there's just like items that are just expensive as fuck. Like there's an armor that costs like 800 gil or gold. And I didn't have that much. Like even after fighting the boss here, I was just like, that's a grind and a half to get that much money.
I had like 1,000, and then when I went in the armor shop, I was like, I found something and I was like, oh, I want that. That would be good for my warrior. And then I was like, that is 800 gil. That is, I'm not going to spend that much.
Yep.
So the weapons in mine, little different names. There's the hammer, which was also available in Corneria. There's the broadsword. There's the battle axe, and then there's the scimitar.
Yeah. And the red mage can equip scimitar, but I think it can also equip the short sword.
Yeah, so why would
So why would you? Yeah. There's a lot of that in this game where it's just like, here's an option that is why would you do this? Like you don't need to. But it's there for us. Okay. Anything else in Pravoka before we leave?
Yeah, the iron armor, which is 800 gil.
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah.
I kind of want to grind up and get it though.
Well, I think there's so in the next town that we're gonna go to, which is pretty close by, there's an entire new set of armored weapons. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, okay, good.
So you might want to wait until you get there and see what there is available.
I wonder how much you can sell it for, because you can also sell in this game.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
No, I don't know. Probably not much.
Probably not much.
The starting equipment sells for one gold. So,
What, my hands?
But Curse said close by. I think that's debatable, depending where we're going, right?
I don't think so. It's just south of Cornelia.
Yeah, that's kind of far.
How did you get back to Cornelia?
Far-esque. By
Outside of
boat, my friend.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we have a boat now.
We have a boat.
A broat.
A broat.
An actual ship. It's not like the Bronco.
No,
Yeah.
It's a little better than the Bronco.
What I do like about the ship, I mean, maybe I kind of hated about the ship, actually, now that I think about it. But you do get into random battles while you're in the ship.
Yeah.
But the ones that appear in this area, I feel like are not too difficult and give pretty good experience in gold. So I was actually pretty happy with the fact that there were battles here because I was like, oh, okay, easy fights that have a lot of rewards. That's what I'm in for. Like, I'm not trying to spend all fucking day grinding for a piece of item. You know, so.
Did you encounter any good enemies on the?
I encountered some like sea ninjas. Let me see what they were called.
Yeah, because there was the shark, which is just your standard shark, and it's pretty hilarious because the sprite that I have is just like a shark on the deck of your ship.
it just flops up on board. It's like flopping there, and your party's like, "Oh shit! Get it!" Red Mage just casts it like fire on it. Get it!
Yeah, and it's actually like kind of tough. Like even though it was only one of them, like it took a lot of hits to take it down. And I was like, "Oh fuck! Like this isn't just going to be an easy like way back to Cornelia."
I don't know what it's called in your game, but in my game, there's the Kaizoku.
The Kaizoku. What does that look like?
That's the fucking pirates of the. I was gonna say the pirates of the sea. Now imagine pirates, but imagine them over the sea instead of the land.
I mean, that kind of works now. We were just talking about how we're all ourselves, except Remy, pirates in our own way.
In mine, they're called Buccaneers,
Ooh, Buccaneers. I didn't run into any Buccaneers.
which are basically the blue pirates.
Yeah.
I ran into the Goggler and the Sahagin.
Oh, I didn't run into either of them.
They're very
Show me.
fucking scary. They're very, like, to use a word that we use a lot, Lovecraftian. It's like a giant, like, brain stem with, like, two huge eyes and then, like, a creature from the Black Lagoon looking thing.
I feel like I am obligated to look up what those enemies are called in the NES version.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Because they're probably called like Two Eyes and Fishman.
This is actually an incredibly important one if I recall right, because I want to say that somebody caught this in localization. And I mean, what kind of stands out so far is that all of these monsters are very generic.
Yeah,
compared to what you would see in later Final Fantasy games, where it's like, even starting with Final Fantasy II, which you could argue as being like the first real Final Fantasy game.
Right.
Like you start seeing, enemies like bombs pop up, and you start
getting a feel
things.
for and it feels like Square's finding their legs at that point. Like they know what makes them different.
So
whereas this is D&D, like I said.
No, this is absolutely D&D, and I think that the eyeball monster might have been called a Beholder.
Oh, shit. That makes sense.
Well, I just looked up what the English NES version is called, and it's called Odd Eye.
And that's a really important one, too, because they could have been flat out sued on that one.
Well, I think that they did eventually change some of the names because, I mean, not because they were sued, but because they were like, let's not explicitly call it the Mind Flayer or whatever.
Mind Flayer might have been one of them, actually.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling to remember like the specific ones because there are certain enemies where it's like, okay, you
straight up ripped D&D on this.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole early D&D.
The Red Wizard has nothing on the Wizards of the Coast.
It's interesting too because you said Beholder, and I feel like the bomb, like the bomb that we know in Final Fantasy, kind of
we know and love.
The one that we know and love, yeah. It kind of looks like the Beholder. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons at all, the Beholder just kind of looks like a bomb with like tentacles instead of like just little arms, little arms that you rip off and then throw at their friends.
The Cacodemon from Doom.
Yeah.
So those enemies are there. And it is just called the Shark or whatever.
Yeah.
There may or may not be some entertainment to be had on the boat, though.
True. Did we also want to talk about a certain peninsula? Remy.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
okay,
all
do the
right,
peninsula power right now?
Fine. I'll just do mine later. No, let's do the peninsula.
All right, we can do the peninsula power real quick.
Let's do it. No, I need to know because I know what the purpose is, but not. I'm gonna let you.
What's our little town over here to the east? Anyone remember what that's called? I can't remember what that's called.
The one we were at just now.
No, we're going east to Pravoka now.
It's east to Pravoka, and then we're gonna head west
310
toward
to Pravoka.
Elfheim.
310 to Pravoka. Who was that guy that was like really crying about his
Melmond.
Melmond. I think, it's sort
It's
of.
like Jerry looking out as like people at Newman, and he's like, Melman.
Well, okay, Melman's a way off. I don't even know if you can get over there. But if you decide to sort of loop around that kind of inlet that's by Pravoka, just head east a little bit, head southeast, then a little north again, you'll find this little peninsula.
If you've gone to the Red Barn, you've gone too far.
Is this before the cave?
You're actually going to be going in the opposite direction of the cave. So you want to find that little patch of sand, like that little desert out there. And once you get to the desert, you just go north. And you're going to find a few tiles there, which if they catch you off guard when you're playing, you're going to die really quickly. They essentially, kind of just flagged these the wrong way. They because the way that the world is designed, everything is broken up into grids in terms of where things are going to spawn, and that just happened to sort of accidentally coincide with a grid of an extremely high level area, and you can use this early in the game to if you're well prepared to grind up and prepare yourself for whatever's coming along later. It is a slog, takes a lot of time, but if it makes things easier in the long run for
Hell
sure.
yeah.
Right, especially once you can level up to the point where it's not such a big deal to fight them.
Yeah, and I mean the Peninsula Power, I guess, is it's an important one because this is a trope that would later carry on to pretty much I think every subsequent Final Fantasy game has an area, because this was so popular.
Yeah.
It was an accident, but it was incredibly popular that you can find this out of the way place and just grind there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the island closest to hell and the island closest to heaven in Final Fantasy VIII.
I was thinking the plateau with the Grand Dragons in Final Fantasy IX that you can access too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the first example of that.
That's really awesome.
Love it. Love it.
Fuck yeah, you love to see it.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
So now,
Y'all like
while you're
math?
while you're on your boat, it's feasible that you would just accidentally, just as you would.
Who doesn't
Whomst
do
amongst
this
us
kind of thing accidentally?
doesn't just accidentally hold B and press A 55 times in a row.
Yeah, it's totally.
You got that little potion trigger finger.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I just have a little nervous twitch where I just, whoops, real quick. I'm going to hit A 55 times in a row.
Yeah.
And, there's a sliding block minigame puzzle just baked into the fucking boat in this game.
Yeah,
You get bored on sea.
I guess so.
it's the only board game that they had. The Scrabble got washed over when a wave hit the boat.
So this is it's a puzzle. I mean, if you look it up on Google and just call it the 15 block sliding puzzle or sliding block puzzle, it is a 4x4 grid, and there are 15 squares in it, numbered 1 through 15, and an empty space.
Yeah.
You just switch the empty space out with one of the blocks next to it. You basically shift the block into the empty space, and the goal is to take the jumble that you have and order them 1 to 16.
15.
So 1 to 15.
15 and then the blank.
And
one.
then the blank one. Correct. Top row 1 through 4. And
Yeah.
And that's really it. I don't think there's that much explanation that needs to be done about it. But I know that there are some differences in the versions. And on this version, I would like to go last.
Okay.
I would like to talk last about what my feasible rewards for victory are.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'll just talk about the game quickly. On my version, I saw that they have they've added some things from the original where they add like a timer that shows how long you've been doing it, and then there's places of first place if you complete it in 2 minutes, second place 4 minutes, third place 6 minutes. It took me 7 minutes and 36 seconds and 10 milliseconds, I guess. But it also gives you a win ratio of how many times you've played it and how many times you didn't. When I went through and won in 7 minutes or whatever, I received 100 gil, which isn't too bad.
So I'll say this for your version, because I played the PlayStation version last. Because I played it on Vita, I played that same one.
Yeah.
What you're gonna want to do is get that first place trophy for it, right?
Sure.
But only beat it by a second if you can. Get it to where you have the last slide, and just wait until you're 1 second in first place.
Sure.
make the slide, and you get like 10,000 gil or something like that, or maybe more.
Fuck, really?
And you can make enough money to basically get yourself through the rest of the game.
So it's like selling
right
an
here.
all materia.
It's like selling an all materia right after the second town in the game. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So you basically can effectively set yourself for gil the rest of the game. Like, done. You never have to worry about money ever again using this game. Because if you continually beat first place by only 1 second, you make your next victory feasible.
Yeah.
Because if you do it like in like
so
one...
you always have to get like a world record, essentially. Like
Exactly. So you want to beat the record each time by the least amount you can.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So local man has this one strange trick to win 10,000 gil.
Yeah, right.
Doctors hate it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there are additional prizes on them. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, there's you can get like antidotes, golden needles, potions. That's about it in the PSP version. On the Game Boy Advance version, you get like mega elixirs, X potions, and stuff
holy
like that.
shit.
Yeah. So there's a lot of really good shit to be got by doing this mini game, and you can really blow it open for yourself. So I was super excited to get to this point, and I actually skipped some armor in the last town because I was like, fuck this shit. I'm ready to just be making some fucking money. Remy's laughing at me. So I get in, I do this fucking sliding block puzzle, and I realize when I beat it, there's no timer on this one. This is the NES version. There is no first place or second place. You just get 100 gil, and that's it.
Oh no.
And I was like, this game is trying my fucking patience. This is the third episode of the podcast, and I'm already just like, this fucking game. Like it is almost broken me, and we have so much more to go of it. I was like, I really am actually gonna have to sit here and go outside of every town and just grind for hours to get items every town we go to.
oh my god.
How many GP you think this would be worth in the
Battle Square. Oh,
in Battle Square or Gold
I was-
Saucer?
I was
my
actually
head hurts now.
I was thinking about that, and it's pretty funny that in this game you essentially have to pay to save. So it's very reminiscent
Yeah.
of the gold saucer save
Yeah,
point where
yeah.
you have to spend BP.
Yep. My soul, my spirit has been taken from me.
I mean,
My spirit stat doesn't work in this
Universal basic gil.
it's also
Completing that puzzle.
well, it's funny you mentioned paying to save too, because we're gonna, we've continually kind of gone over, how great the NES version in particular is, and just how everything works
Oh, yeah.
really, really well. You talked about, I guess, noting that there are tent and cottage items in the game. The NES has, I think, the equivalent of cottage in the NES version is called house.
Cabin.
It's called cabin.
Yeah.
Which one is house in
Oh.
NES?
Or maybe it does have house. I don't know. But I know that there's tent and cabin are accessible to me right now.
Okay.
That's what I know about
So
it.
house might be the ultimate one.
Maybe so.
So what happens is when you use this item, it saves the game, right? It's a great way to save on the world map if you really need to. And it recharges your spells and everything else.
And it just doesn't work on the NES. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well,
Son of a bitch.
well, here I'm looking at it.
Do you want
now.
to take this?
So I'm seeing here, and it looks like house is the ultimate one. It's like marginally better than the cabin that we were just talking about, and it restores 120 hit points and all MP to the current party members, and allows the party members to save the game. Can only be used outdoors. Note that the game is saved before MP is restored.
So if you load the game from there, you don't have any of the MP that you got back.
Holy
This
shit.
game fucking rules. This game fucking rules. This fucking game,
Holy
it is
shit, man.
trying me. This game is trying me. It is fucking putting my will to the fucking test.
The fucked up thing too is I still want to go and play the NES.
I don't know.
Like
no.
along with
it's,
it.
It's kind of like, in a weird way, it feels very gratifying every time you accomplish something in it.
Yeah.
But I will say this, again, having played the PlayStation version only all the way through, I am not looking forward to dungeons. And we haven't even done a dungeon yet.
Yeah.
And we're coming up on them.
Yep.
Oh boy.
And they're not short.
Oh boy.
And you can't save inside of them.
Yep.
And fucking one of your characters died. Hope you can walk back up fucking 4 floors and get to town before you're dead, asshole.
Fuck.
Oh, by the way, the run stat doesn't work on it, so good luck with those fights.
Oh man.
I hope party member 4 is alive and has like a certain digit in their fucking HP.
Oh my god.
Wait,
What a nightmare.
Carl, so do you have to use you have to pay to save?
Yeah, I can use the memo thing, but like like using the house and restoring MP, it just disappears if you load the save.
Yeah.
So the Game Boy Advance version, you can just save anywhere you want.
Oh, that's awesome.
just like in Pokemon.
Hell yeah. Which makes sense. It makes sense for the Game Boy because, like I was saying earlier, and then like I was like, wait, the logic that I used made no sense. It's a handheld. Why would you have to save it everywhere?
You have
Because
to
of
trade
battery
your-
life.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. You have to trade your Kyogre into Final Fantasy 1 to
You need to get the like weird like 120 character like string of nonsense at the end of Golden Sun to transfer your characters to the next save file.
yeah, but anyway, we're gonna head to Elfland. I think it's Elfheim.
Elfland.
Elfland.
You'll never guess who lives there.
Alf.
Elfland.
Yeah, it's just a name.
Yeah.
Elfland. Not a cat in sight.
Yeah, so that's gonna be it for this episode. We're gonna do the Elfland and the Marsh Caves next. Marsh Cave is gonna be our first real dungeon, and I'm not looking forward to it by any stretch of the imagination. Fuck me, I guess. R.I.P.
Can
to
you-
a real one.
Can you do save states on your emulator?
Okay, so I can.
I know some gamers listen to this podcast, and the save state word makes them really angry.
No,
but-
I can, and I've been utilizing every advantage I have.
Sure.
Although I haven't had to actually load a save state yet, which is nice. But actually, I don't think I've made one. Which probably anyway.
Oops.
Yeah. Whoops. But what I do like about, because I'm playing it on my phone, is where I've been playing it.
Oh yeah.
Also, shout outs to 8-Bit Do or 8-Bit Do for their fucking bitchin' Bluetooth controllers.
Hell yeah.
Because I just prop my phone up and fucking take a wireless controller out and play wherever I want to go.
That's so good. Didn't you bind a screenshot button to?
I bound a screenshot button to it so I can just hit R or L2 on it. It takes a fucking screenshot.
I need to live that life.
It's great. But what's great about it is when I close the application, it automatically save states that state. So when I load the emulator up next time, it's wherever I closed it at.
Sure.
Which is nice. But that doesn't work for like I can't. That's like the memo. I can't go back and reload that one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm excited to play the rest of it. I might actually. I was thinking about it because technically I haven't put that much time into the game.
Yeah.
As of yet, I might also start a file like the same file like on my computer, or just put the save over onto my PC and maybe play a little bit of that as well.
Yeah.
On there, just because that's fun. Playing with them big fat pixels on the
hell
on a big
yeah.
old monitor.
Big chonky pixels.
Big chunky
Hell yeah.
pixels.
That guy's mohawk will look insane.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine?
Ugh. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it for me this week. Oh yeah, Remy, thanks again for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
The best.
I'm excited. Come back on anytime you want. We still got
A lot.
12 episodes ish. No, I don't know.
Stance of the pod. Remy, not a piss coward.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't know what that means.
He's piss brave. Piss courageous.
Unbelievably.
Heart of gold.
Yeah. For this particular one, I mean, I love failure. I think failure is amazing. If like, you know, you talk about failing upwards, this is like the Icarus of failing upwards just into the sun.
Flew too
Where,
close
like-
to the ground.
You asked me earlier about cats, and I think this is kind of the same thing for me. Is watching cats. Like this thing is taking a life of its own, but again, like there's so much wrong with this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Final Fantasy
so
1, Cats movie, functionally the same thing.
If you play them both simultaneously, they totally sync up.
I get it too. I mean, there's a few things here where I feel like we've just, you know, scratched the tip of a specific iceberg.
Scratch the tip of the jellicle iceberg.
So yeah, I'm happy to come back anytime.
Hell yeah.
Thanks again.
Hell
bud.
yeah. Thanks for all your vast knowledge of how fucked up this game actually is.
I know.
I bought it as a tag sale, like at a tag sale as a child, and so
Oh yeah.
Thank you for
I-
bringing visibility to invisible women everywhere.
yes.
you know, it's I try to be as just, you know, good an ally as I can be.
Hell yeah. We should all be so lucky. We should all strive for that.
We should all be so Remy.
We should all be so Remy.
Aw. Excellent. So, all right. Featured music is by Nobuo Uematsu. Leave us a review on iTunes. That's really sweet.
It would be ever so sweet of you.
Ever so sweet of you. We are every FNFF on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. We are all very active there, shitposting. We have a TeePublic as well. We have a few weird shirts up.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to buy the Final Fantasy shirt. Because that is the most
It's
egregiously
really good.
offensive thing I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, that was the one that I saw, and I'm like, I'm buying this.
I know.
Like, there's no doubt about it.
If I remember correctly, is the font that is used Comic Sans on it?
No, it's just like Arial or
I
whatever.
was saying, it looks like an
okay.
Arial. Yeah.
Although
In my heart, it's Comic Sans.
I'll put a link in their description. The link to our store.
It's
Whoosh editor's note.
OnlyFans / every FNFF.
But I was explaining to Remy, it was like the joke of that shirt is because of how like stupid and easy it is.
Yeah,
But
right.
the thing is, I couldn't find a vector of the iPhone B,
Oh yeah.
so I had to create it from scratch.
Holy shit.
I created the emoji from scratch.
That's impressive.
Well, yeah, and my question in all of this, of course, is like, well, why can't you just like, Google an image of the emoji or like screen cap it off your phone and
yeah. It's too small.
yeah, it'll
It
be
just has
very
a
pixely.
highly pixelized B. Like you like vector the pixels individually.
This is the only place that you'll be able to get such a high quality B emoji. I was also thinking only
the B emoji movie.
Don't
oh
like
shit.
it.
You like jazz? Oh wait, I went. My brain instantly went to fucking B movie.
No,
Okay,
it's
no,
the
but
B movie and the emoji
oh,
movie
the
at
crossover
once.
we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
well,
That's the other Seinfeld.
dude, have you guys actually watched B movie? Have you like even read a plot synopsis of how insane it is?
I think I've read a plot synopsis.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it in like 5 seconds. And when those
Yeah. I've watched it multiple times because it was that meme.
Every
for a
time there's
while.
buzzing, it speeds up 5% or something.
I think that's how everybody has watched it. Just wow.
Truly the Citizen Kane of our time.
But yeah, we have shirts. Check the show notes for a link to that. We also have a hotline. You can call us at 530-MATERIA.
Materia.
Let's see what we got, actually. I think we might have something.
Hi, every FNF podcast. This is Dave, Creepy NJ from the Calling All Creeps podcast. Carl's gotten me super excited about Final Fantasy. I've never really played one, so I picked up Final Fantasy Legends 2 for the Game Boy, and I have a lot of questions. I made a mummy, I ate some meat, and I became a werewolf. I'm very confused. Any help would be greatly appreciated. I have ordered the Dawn of Souls, so expect me to be throwing my little black mage into the ring. Get ready for fights, get ready for fantasies, sexual fantasies, and let's make them final, boys. I love you and goodbye.
Oh, I love you too.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing.
Thanks, Dave.
I'll
Shout outs
start-
to Dave from the Calling All Creeps podcast.
Hell yeah,
I actually
Dave.
just recorded an episode with those guys, so
yeah.
that'll be coming out probably soon by the time this episode airs
Doing
as
a
well.
dramatic reading of Goosebumps.
Slightly, yes.
Are you
And
allowed?
then we talked about a word that they had to bleep out on their podcast a lot.
Are you allowed to say what book it was?
Yeah, it's The Barking Ghost is the one I did. It's a terrible book.
That's awesome. The
Yeah.
Final Fantasy
The fuck
Legends.
did you just say about the works of R.L. Stein? Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Alex.
There's a Final Fantasy Legends 2.
Yeah, so
It sounds the most like a Goosebumps plot. The way this
Yeah, the way you described it, for sure.
Well,
it's the Goosebumps of Final Fantasy game.
were you going to be the one to say it, or
I was gonna do what I always do and talk about speedrunning, but you first.
Well, I appreciate that they did this actually in localizing a lot of these games, but the original Seiken Densetsu mana game was released as Final Fantasy Adventure, and they did the same thing with Saga, where they released the Saga games as Final Fantasy Legend.
Yep. And they're Game Boy games, just to be clear.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. I think mechanically they might work a little bit better.
It's fair.
It'd be hard not to.
Yeah, I was gonna say the low bar to clear. I do know that speedrunner extraordinaire Puexel runs it sometimes.
Oh,
and
hell
is
yeah.
fantastic at it. Makes a very entertaining stream out of it.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
I also know that Dave, who called in, has a cousin who speed runs the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy. Oh my god! And did pretty well with that. I don't know their standing or anything.
Yeah.
I gotta stop for a second. I've been playing Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy, and it is so unbelievably frustrating. Not just because of the sheer amount of chance that's involved, but in order to build better decks, you need better cards. In order to get cards, you have to win with your decks.
And so it's like triple triads.
Yeah, the more you lose, the harder it is to win. Yeah.
You just instantly lose the what's the first good card that you get? Ifrit, I guess.
Ifrit,
and then you're just like, well,
if it's the speedrun, the Quistis card.
true. Or the Zell
But
card.
only if you accept the game within the first 3 frames.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Final Fantasy Legend 2 though, like you were saying, it's the not Mana Games, it's a
Saga. Yep,
Saga game.
that's Saga too.
Yeah. But I have seen it play. I haven't played it myself, but I've seen it. It looks pretty good, to be honest. Like, I think for a Game Boy game, it's pretty impressive.
To be honest, too, they remade. And people have localized them now too. So toward the end of the Nintendo DS lifespan, where it wasn't really relevant to people anymore, they remade Saga 2 and 3 in Japan, and there are localization patches out for them now, where you can like play these games like all the way through. They're patched like pretty competently in English, and I would say that is like the way to play it now too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Holy shit.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, they look pretty dope.
Right on.
We'll get to them.
But
We will.
But there you go, Dave. You've been suckered into playing a non-Final Fantasy game, you fool.
Yeah, now you got to come on the pod and defend yourself.
Yeah, give us a voicemail, you fools.
530 materia.
You landlubbers. Yeah.
All right, Pirate Week's over.
Our Pirate Week's over. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'll see you next week, you scurvy dogs.
Bye-bye.
Yar.